There we go.
The basic head bob. Ready, go.
Bassy today. Did we put a new filter on there? You notice that? Hello. I'm Barry White. No. Welcome to the Democratic People's Republic of the Bradshaw Show. You're on Webcast One Live. Thanks for spending some time on a absolutely gorgeous. It's like 71 degrees. It's sunny. This is good weather we're going to have in a long time. I don't know why I'm here and not at the dog park, but I have to rectify that situation later as we get ready for debate night in America. Get your wings ordered. You know, it really should be like a Super Bowl, like in a country that had its priorities in the right place. This would be like, Super Bowl Sunday. Minus cheerleaders and Chris Berman, but I'm guessing the audience will be somewhere around the first debate, somewhere between the first debate and the VP. So, somewhere in the 50s. Good number of people are going to watch, but there'll be playoff baseball on. And, there's always other options. Is there wrestling on? Oh, there's wrestling on every night. That's where your undecided voters are. So most of tonight is an exercise in placating the partisans. I know every news network wants to find our panel of undecided voters. What did you think? And what did you think? Do you even know who's running for president? Again, the folks at SNL did a very good job of summing up. If you're undecided at this point, and I mean truly undecided, not, I hate them both and I'm going to write in Bruce Wayne. If you're truly undecided, I don't know if you've been paying attention. Do you know that there's an election coming up next month? But tonight, the second presidential debate, or as The Onion, America's finest news source, put it, Obama excited to take part in first debate today. Some things to look for, because by all accounts, he got worked. Not so much in material in the first debate, but most certainly in delivery, Normally when you say they lost composure, you mean that no. He did not adapt to the different Mitt Romney that was on stage. And I don't know if that's a prep team failure, if that's on the president's shoulders. I mean, ultimately it's his name on the debate, but he got worked. He allowed himself to be worked. And what gets me is, it's so easy to take down some of this stuff. Now, tonight is a town hall style debate. Questions written by audience members. The audience is selected by Gallup. They each have a question. They give it to the moderator, Candy Crowley of CNN, who then picks and chooses her favorites. She's saying she's going to be more active, which is good because we're moving around here. My beef with the town hall debate and the questions from the audience is most of them aren't real good. They're either absolutely one side. Mr. Romney, when will you stop hating black people? That's probably a bad question to ask in a debate. On the flip side, after Jim Lehrer, really you have nowhere to go but up. Again, these are very hard to lose because all you have to do is, look at the person and give her your 45, 90-second, stump answer. You have the occasional, I feel your pain moment. Certainly the George Herbert Walker Bush taught us how to lose a town hall debate, but it's not easy. You really have to go out of your way and be disconnected. And yes, Mitt Romney certainly doesn't have the best connection skills when you see him interacting with average folks. He does not look as comfortable as he does, for example, in the 47% video when he's talking with, honestly, his people. Doesn't quite have that politician edge. What he has is, well, sales. And the folks at National Memo had a nice piece. Romney, the product. I disagree with one of the major premises. The piece starts, as he tries to engineer a comeback in this week's presidential debate, President Obama needs to recognize two things. First, when it comes to politics, Mitt Romney treats himself as a product, not a person. Now, I'm going to throw a flag there because I think politicians are selling the product, and that is the person. Now, look at Chuck Grassley. He is all product. I'm a, good old boy, Iowa farmer, pragmatic and conservative, but look at Medicare Part D, look at the, pull the plug on grandma. The actions don't necessarily back that up. Steve King portrays himself as a backwoods, shoot-from-the-hip hillbilly. Steve King is very smart. Steve King is bright. The person that Steve King portrays in the media, especially on the national level, isn't. Politicians sell themselves as a product. This is something I'm familiar with and have some experience on. The only thing I have to sell is me. And what the president allowed Mitt Romney to do was basically turn himself into New Coke. Or I guess go back to Coca-Cola Classic. The guy that ran for the nomination, who was strictly conservative and would cut taxes on the top 1%, that guy was etch-a-sketched away. My initial first response after the debate, you can go back. I love to live tweet these things. I warn you in advance, if you follow me on Twitter, you're going to get a lot of tweets tonight. Most will be snarky. Follow me, twitter.com/Radio Bradshaw for all the fun there. Is that the guy that was on stage at the first presidential debate bore little to no resemblance of the Mitt Romney that here in Iowa we've seen since 2006. Different guy. Like somewhere, Doc Brown got plutonium from the Libyans, went back in time, kidnapped Massachusetts senatorial candidate Mitt Romney and put him on stage. Somewhere there's a very confused Mitt Romney. Maybe he's a looper. And again, it was good strategy. It worked. Romney won. What I get a kick out of is all the, conservatives who were wary of Romney. All fell in line after he won. This has been a working theory of mine, by the way. Are you familiar at all with North Korea, Dan? You know what Juche is? No? How about Kim Il-sung? Familiar, somewhat? If we would take North Korea, replace Kim Il-sung with Ronald Reagan, would American conservatives believe that North Korea is the greatest place on the face of the earth? Again, it's a creepy, freaky, hellhole cult of personality that I think modern-day conservatives would absolutely love to live in if you would just sort of change some of the actual personalities around. If we told them, like, Juche was Korean for the free market rules all, I think they'd be on board. I think Mike Huckabee and Pat Robertson would be leading freedom trains to Pyongyang, within the hour. So it's funny, this strictly conservative Romney, again, who said what he needed to do to seal the deal on the Republican side, now is talking about the benefits of regulation, talking about how he's not going to cut taxes for rich people. Really, believe me this time. And again, this stuff isn't rocket science to knock down, and it is the president's fault for allowing him to run on. And it's nice to see at least some attention given. Two of the major pillars of the Romney campaign. One, his tax plan. And by the way, Most political attacks are stupid. Most political gimmick websites are awful. I highly recommend go to RomneyTaxPlan.com. Not a shock site, nothing. For a detailed explanation of how Romney-Ryan tax plan is able to cut taxes by $5 trillion without raising taxes on the middle class or exploiting the deficit, please click the button below. The site is genius. RomneyTaxPlan.com. And the simple defense, and we saw, Bill Clinton at the Democratic National Convention tear it up. We've seen the president go by this. And Mitt's standard defense was, I have 6 studies showing that my tax plan math works. Ran into a bit of a problem on Sunday. Ed Gillespie, speaking for the campaign to Chris Wallace, is asked about this. And even Chris Wallace was like, really? Of the 6 studies that Mitt Romney is touting, 2 are blog posts from the American Enterprise Institute, a conservative think tank. One is a report from the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank. The 5th and 6th are Wall Street Journal op-eds. And one is a paper by Princeton professor and former Bush advisor Harvey Rosen. All right, so that's actually a study. What does Rosen argue? So again, past the blog posts and op-ed pieces, Rosen says, well, the Romney tax plan worked because of huge economic growth effects of tax reform. AKA cutting taxes causes the economy to explode. If that were true, you'd be seeing George W. Bush campaigning for Romney. It's just that simple. If that worked, well, we probably wouldn't have Obama as president. And Republicans wouldn't have to rewrite the history of Ronald Reagan. Again, Mitt's problem started when the Nonpartisan Tax Policy Center determined that in making all the cuts that Romney wants to, over 10 years, that cost $5 trillion. Now, Republicans, since Obama's election, have magically come to say that they care about the debt and the deficit. By the way, was the deficit bigger in 2011 or 2012? It's getting smaller.
Big freaking whoop.
I'm just saying, true story.
Yeah, when it's in the billions and trillions and quadrillions, it doesn't matter.
I know. We should do something about that, maybe ending a couple wars and the Bush tax cuts. In all honesty, if Congress just goes home for the next 5 years, the deficit takes care of itself. There is no deficit neutral way to do what Romney is promising. You simply can't cut every tax bracket by 20% and make it up by getting rid of deductions. It doesn't happen. Unless you literally go after every deduction. And even then, you come up short. And that means getting rid of mortgage interest, college tuition, child tax credit, all of those gone. That's never going to happen in Congress. It's just simply not reality. And if you have to trot out blog posts and op-ed pieces to back up your plan, you have no backup. I post this quote from time to time because it is truth. It comes from Duncan Black, blogs his Atrios. You saw him on the West Wing. These deficit hawks, the debt chicken hawks. Understand, the one thing they truly care about is lowering tax rates for rich people. Anything that happens beyond that is, as Bob Ross would call it, a happy accident. That's it. That's all that matters. I mean, yeah, they want to funnel money to their friends. I mean, conservatives, for whatever reason, ignore reality. Makes them feel better, I guess. The government is a giant money funnel machine. And the question is, where are we going to turn that funnel? And do you believe we need to, continue to funnel it to defense contractors? Do we need to funnel it to large corporations? Does Wells Fargo need another tax break? Or should we actually, use that money for a constructive purpose? Again, these are just fundamental differences in when the president doesn't do a very good job of, my vision versus his vision. And his vision is kind of a rainbow because it changes from time to time. But the president did a very bad job of calling this stuff out, style-wise for the most part. And yes, it is sad that in America in 2012, style beats substance 10 times out of 10. Again, you really think conservatives were all giddy after a Romney debate victory when he was arguing that he wasn't going to cut taxes for rich people and some regulations really good? I mean, that goes against the basis of the Republican Party as it exists now. They didn't care what he said. He just said it strongly, and they were on board because it was a W for Team Red. That's it. That's all, nothing else. The other flip side to that is his jobs plan. Now, again, I've been mocking this for a while. The Romney jobs plan promises to bring 12 million jobs to the country. It's going to create 12 million jobs in 4 years, which is a big difference when the folks at, for example, Moody's say that if we do nothing in 4 years, the economy will add 12 million jobs. So in reality, Romney's arguing he's going to do nothing. But Washington Post fact checker Glenn Kessler decided to take the Romney team at their word. He asked the campaign, okay, where are you getting this 12 million jobs number from? And this is from Greg Sargent, also in the Washington Post. The studies the Romney camp itself cites in defense of the plan don't back up the plan's promises. This is what Kessler had to write. We asked the Romney campaign, and the answer turns out to be totally different studies with completely different timelines. For example, the claim that 7 million jobs would be created from the Romney tax plan is a 10-year number, not 10, derived from a study written by John W. Diamond, professor at Rice University. This study at least assesses the specific claim of Romney's policies. The rest of the numbers are even more squishy. For example, 3 million job claim for Romney's energy policies appear largely based on a Citigroup global market study that did not even evaluate Romney's policies. Instead, the report predicted 2.7 to 3.6 million jobs would be created over the next 8 years, largely because of the trends and policies already adopted, including tougher fuel efficiency standards that Romney has criticized and suggested he would reverse. Again, these are the two pillars of the Romney campaign. A tax plan that violates arithmetic, and a jobs plan that argues the stuff we're doing anyway, sprinkled with some magic free market pixie dust, will make everything better. And frankly, Mr. President, if you can't knock down those two pillars, you don't deserve to win the debate. Now, aside from those two, there have been some issues that haven't come up in any debate. and we'll talk about those when we come back. Because, I think those are slam dunk wins for Obama, which is probably why Candy Crowley won't pick those questions. I'd love to be happily wrong on this one. I just don't have that much trust in the very serious people in the journalistic business. I went to J school. I got out of J school. Why? I didn't want to spend my working career with those people. So, issues that should come up, but probably won't when we come back. Email me, radiobradshaw@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/radiobradshaw. Or just go to thebradshawshow.com. Easy enough. Takes care of almost all of your Bradshaw needs, and I don't have to lift a finger. So www.thebradshawshow.com. Check it out. Be back right after this on Webcast One Live. Thanks for watching.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Feeling alone? God knows and He understands. Chat now with someone who cares at groundwire.net.
Well, hi, I'm Rob Spearman. I'm a broker owner of RE/MAX Real Estate Concepts in Des Moines, Iowa. Give us a call if you're looking at buying or selling a home, or if you're having trouble on your mortgage payments or looking to purchase foreclosures. We have the agents to help you, experienced, outstanding agents. Our office number is 515-276-2872. Or if you'd like to look at homes, go to our website, homeconnectusa.com.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Hi, I'm J. Michael McCoy, and about 20 years ago, I went to a used car salesman by the name of John Hewitt. He had a little shop over there on North 2nd Avenue called John's Auto Sales, and I bought a car. I found that experience to be one that I had never had before from a used car salesman. He was honest, he was dependable, he had integrity, and he did what he said he was going to do. Well, over the years, between my kids and grandkids, I purchased 7 vehicles from John's Auto Sales. And last month, I asked him to be a sponsor. And he said not only would he like to be a sponsor, but he would offer a $100 tithe for every customer that came and bought a car from him directly to the church of your choice. I can tell you about their huge selection. I can tell you about their years of experience. I can tell you about their honest integrity. But all I really need to tell you is that I bought 7 cars, and you can trust them. John's Auto Sales, 5435 2nd Avenue, Des Moines.
You need a good ride when you hit the trail. Trust the man with the cars, and he goes by the name of Big John. Big John. Big John.
Drug and alcohol addiction slowly steals a person's identity, tearing away pieces of their life little by little until one day it seems like the hope of a happy future is gone and there's no chance of getting it back. Here at St. Gregory Retreat Centers, we can assure you that there is hope. Our unique approach to recovery begins with the understanding that the dysfunction and damage caused by addiction can be overcome, not just dealt with. Don't let another day go by. Call St. Gregory today.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
It's time to start.
Rock concert movement number
The bass is back.
The basic head bob. Ready, go.
Just throw on some like dubstep or something. Bass. How low can you go? Death Row. What a brother know. Bradshaw with you on a Tuesday afternoon, dropping sick rhymes. Want to take a moment, by the way, and just congratulate Dinesh D'Souza. He is the creator of the term Kenyan anti-colonialist to describe President Obama. The gist of that theory is somehow through DNA, the president's Kenyan father, and I mean, I don't know, maybe I slept through this part of health class. I mean, maybe this is a function of the vas deferens or something. but through his genetic material, gave his child, Barack Hussein, Super Allah Obama, peace be upon him, a anti-British, anti-colonial mindset. The same way Judaism is passed down with mother, Kenyan anti-colonialism is passed via the Y chromosome. I don't know. But Mr. Dinesh D'Souza may have been putting his 2016 in something other than his own Obama's America. Is that the nice way of putting it? So kudos to Dinesh, who I'm sure is going to be spending some time away from the spotlight to spend some time with his families. Any day now. Debate tonight, debate number 2, maybe the first one that the president will show up on, and a couple things that haven't come up in the debate so far. And I don't know if Candy Crowley is going to want to, stray off the beaten path. I would love to be proven wrong on this one. But like one is housing. I mean, housing is one of the main drivers of our economy. It's the biggest purchase you'll ever make. It's the biggest investment many of you will ever make. And it is a severely depressed market. Hasn't even come up. Housing policy. Non-issue. This one was sort of came up by accident in the first debate, and that is, what to do with the big banks. What do we do with, too big to fail? These financial institutions that, due to their size and interconnectedness, can take down the entire American economy. We came close to that in 2008. Income inequality. Again, let's have the debate. If Mitt Romney believes that tax cuts are going to magically make everything happen, let's talk about that. Maybe he has another 6 studies or herbs and spices or whatever, magic recipe he's putting together. But let's have that talk. Let's have that discussion. Make your argument. No, the truth of the matter is, this is why we saw a return to Etch-a-Sketch Mitt in the first debate. Is their ideas really aren't that popular. Cutting taxes for rich people is a very unpopular idea. That's why when Mitt talks to Republicans who love it, he tells them what he wants to hear. And on the biggest debate stage of his life, says the exact opposite. I mean, that's Mitt Romney, the sales guy, in a nutshell. Are we going to hear anything on women's issues, right? Everyone's making a big deal. We have a woman moderating a presidential debate, although we're going to put her in charge of the one that she has the least control over. Just saying. Are we going to talk about contraceptives? Choice. And not in the ham-handed, tell us how your Catholic faith instructs your daily life that Martha Raddatz wasted time with, the VP debate. Let's get down to, the issues. Let's hear, Mitt Romney say, I'm for it or against it, and we'll see if the base cheers. I have a feeling, again, Mitt Romney could answer anything. Talked about this yesterday, the Register editorial. Meets with the Register editorial board and says, there's no legislation, that would outlaw abortion in my agenda. And even the most, flaming, in many contexts of the word, anti-choicers out there, we're okay with that. Because it's about money and influence, not actually about the babies they talk about so much. That's just the way to get, frankly, dupes to write checks. That's why people like Vanderplatz are so valuable to the GOP. If you're the kind of person, like Jan Michelson this morning, who thinks that there's only one judge on the ballot, that's a single issue for a lot of people who would otherwise stay home. Bob Vanderplatz earns his $120,000 a year finding, well, useful idiots to go to the ballot box because they really hate, gay-loving judges. And while they're there, they're probably going to vote for a Mormon, which I find kind of hilarious. But odds are that sort of voter who might be inclined to stay home in a swing state like Iowa. And very similar to 2004 when we saw, again, magically a bunch of states throw out anti-same-sex marriage ballot measures. Why? Because they were afraid that people would stay home. The kind of people who would be drawn to a ballot box solely for that issue. And don't try to make the argument that, there's nothing related. I'm sorry. In Ohio, I think starting yesterday, the Obama phone lady is starring in Tea Party-backed commercials to remind you that a vote for Barack Obama is a vote for a black man. I'm not even going to play the ad. If you want to see it, you can find it. But again, for some reason, as soon as I was playing the ad, my dog started howling. Or maybe this one. This one's pretty out there. Mark Sanford, who pulled a Dinesh D'Souza of his own. Remember, he was hiking the Appalachian Trail. Went on Fox on Sunday. And this was, talking about the debate and getting ready for that. Says that Barack Obama would go on attack in the debate and throw a lot of spears. Would you say he might chuck them? Now, okay, what are the odds? That Mark Sanford doesn't know that that's a loaded term. South Carolina, south of the Mason-Dixon line. Yeah. But that's, again, acceptable, and that's the, we're even past the dog whistle portion of the campaign. I mean, it is, it's straight up Southern strategy. Hell, Lee Atwater's probably going, you guys are supposed to be subtle about this. But that's not the case. So, and to be honest, I don't know what Romney is going to come up on stage tonight, but I know which President Obama needs to. He needs to avoid making the same mistake, the kind of passive. And it doesn't need to be, Biden. He doesn't need to laugh and, interrupt. Let Romney, say his piece, but call him out on this stuff. And if you don't, again, you don't deserve to win. Again, answer the lady's question. Answer the man's question. And make sure you set up a difference. The main reason that Republicans, have seen a surge in the polls. Why? Because they shoot through the roof when it comes to likely voters, enthusiasm. Shoots up. And what Obama didn't do, and Romney did at the first, was, show he was going to fight for his people. Didn't even fight in a way that they approve of. America will prefer strong but wrong. It's just part of who we are. Rather than, just being correct. We want strong. We want push. We want enthusiasm. Press this button. Hi, who's this? Oh, did we lose you?
This is Frank.
Frank! What's wrong with you today?
I don't know. I'm breaking up.
Yeah, we had that earlier.
Is it on your
on
your end?
It may be. So make your point real quick.
Want to talk about Sean Smith's mother on TV.
Okay.
She sounds pretty distraught.
Yeah.
Because she can't get an answer about what happened to her son.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that?
What do you think of that, Frank? I think would be the better question.
Well, I think it's a little bit like Fast and Furious. We can't seem to get any answers out of the administration.
Well, I hope it's not like Fast and Furious, because Fast and Furious turned out to really be nothing, a really ham-handed attempt to tie something to Eric Holder and, by implication, Barack Obama. When it comes to the Benghazi attack, there are some very simple facts. Yes, there were requests for increase in security in Tripoli. And two, when the CIA is involved, and we came to find out thanks to a Republican investigative hearing that was aired live on C-SPAN, that, Safe House was a CIA annex. And you're probably not going to get straight answers from the other government agency.
Well, Joe Trippi gave the only plausible explanation I heard, and that was that there may be some plan underway that they don't want to scare the guys away from the scene of the crime, so they might go after somebody.
Well, I think that's absolutely. I mean, you're talking about, in President Obama, a man with his own daily kill list. I don't think he's afraid to go after these guys, or what's left of them. To be honest, everyone forgets this, but the weekend after that happened, 30,000 Benghazis took to the streets and disarmed this Ansar al-Sharia and some of the other militant warlords trying to gain a foothold in Benghazi.
Yeah, I understand, but the State Department's been blamed. The State Department says they didn't know nothing about it.
No, the State Department
Department turned around and blamed the intel community. Joe Biden blamed the intel community.
No, I mean, Hillary Clinton stood up last night and said it's my fault. And while ultimately, yes, the buck stops with the president, I'm guessing a request for security in Libya probably doesn't make it that far.
Well, doesn't the security detail follow the ambassador, whether he's in prison?
All right, we got to go. I don't know what's up with that. Phone system's borked. No, in fact, ambassadors generally want less security. Makes it harder to do their job. Ambassador Stevens didn't want a cadre of armed folks around him. And this came up in the I think it was either the first debate or the VP debate. I think it was the VP debate. Talking about how, the ambassador in Paris has, a cadre of Marines. Something I learned from Sean Smith. He used to joke that working for the State Department, the Marines there, their job is to guard classified and sensitive materials. And his joke was, if anything ever happens, find classified info and stick it in your pants and make sure a Marine sees you doing it. Look, you want to have a debate and a conversation and a discussion, fine. But waving the bloody shirt like Romney did before we even knew the answer is just not the way to do it. Let's have that conversation. Let's talk about the requests for security in Tripoli. Let's talk about the House Republicans cutting embassy security, because they knew, like I did, like you should if you want to discuss this, Frank, the job of securing embassies is generally done by the host country. And even the State Department said, look, you put another dozen guys, you put a dozen Marines in that compound, they're not prepared to fight off RPGs. And the fact that it turns out it was a CIA compound, and we know the CIA was working in the area. The 2 Navy SEALs who lost their lives on September 11th, excuse me, were there disarming warlords. In their case, man-pads. Those are surface-to-air missiles that, well, are in abundance, and look at events in Syria and the like. If left on the loose, would severely destabilize the area and make it very dangerous. So those 2 Navy SEALs, their job was to seek out and destroy these surface-to-air missiles. And we don't know what other CIA initiatives were going on there. I don't know if we're going to know for years what all is going on there. And this is maybe the underreported piece of the 47% tape. This was part of the Romney strategy, was to look for these outrages and make a big deal out of them. And which I'm fine with. Again, I don't have a problem with playing politics with these things. Politics is our way of, well, deciding arguments. No pistols at dawn, no swords. We're not going to take up arms against one another. We're going to do it through our political system. But let's have a real discussion. Don't wave the bloody shirt. Don't omit key facts. Or just pull stuff out of your backside, like when Glenn Beck claimed that apparently I'm a CIA agent. Let's have the discussion. I'm more than happy to. But you're not entitled to your own set of facts. You're not entitled to let everyone else live your fever dream. All right. 244-0077 if you want to take part. We can talk more about the Hillary conversation last night, because more so than her admitting, kind of taking responsibility, the right-wing reaction was kind of sad. I'll talk about that, and apparently we're now bullying pastors. Who knew? We'll talk about that and more. Email, radiobradshaw@gmail.com. Find me on Twitter, twitter.com/radiobradshaw. Email me, radiobradshaw@gmail.com, or just go to thebradshawshow.com, www.thebradshawshow.com. For all of your Bradshaw Show needs, there's archives there, all the contact info. Thebradshawshow.com, powered by Webcast One Live. Thanks for watching. Back right after this.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Feeling alone? God knows and He understands. Chat now with someone who cares at groundwire.net.
Well, hi, I'm Rob Spearman. I'm a broker owner of RE/MAX Real Estate Concepts in Des Moines, Iowa. Give us a call if you're looking at buying or selling a home, or if you're having trouble on your mortgage payments or looking to purchase foreclosures. We have the agents. Go to our website, homeconnectusa.com.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Hi, I'm J. Michael McCoy, and about 20 years ago, I went to a used car salesman by the name of John Hewitt. He had a little shop over there on North 2nd Avenue called John's Auto Sales, and I bought a car. I found that experience to be one that I had never had before from a used car salesman. He was honest, he was dependable, he had integrity, and he did what he said he was going to do. Well, over the years, between my kids and grandkids, I purchased 7 vehicles from John's Auto Sales. And last month, I asked him to be a sponsor. And he said not only would he like to be a sponsor, but he would offer a $100 tithe for every customer that came and bought a car from him directly to the church of your choice. I can tell you about their huge selection. I can tell you about their years of experience. I can tell you about their honest integrity. But all I really need to tell you is that I bought 7 cars, and you can trust them. John's Auto Sales, 5435 2nd Avenue, Des Moines.
You need a good ride when you hit the trail. Trust the man with the cars, and he goes by the name of Big John. Big John. Big John.
Drug and alcohol addiction slowly steals a person's identity, tearing away pieces of their life little by little until one day it seems like the hope of a happy future is gone and there's no chance of getting it back. Here at St. Gregory Retreat Centers, we can assure you that there is hope. Our unique approach to recovery begins with the understanding that the dysfunction and damage caused by addiction can be overcome, not just dealt with. Don't let another day go by. Call St. Gregory today.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Rock concert movement number 1. The basic head bob. Ready, go.
All right. 2:15 Brad Show with you here on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon in the capital city. It's debate day. Hope you're excited. Jeremy drops an email to Radio Brad Show. You must have seen this already, but what is wrong with these idiots? The Paul Ryan soup kitchen photo op in Ohio. The soup kitchen is a charitable organization that specifically prohibits presidential candidates or politicians from coming in. The Ryan team, again, not wanting to waste a trip. Again, not a big deal. This is one of those things that gets blown up bigger than it should be, but it's kind of an LOL. I guess the folks at the mission said something along it was cleaning clean dishes, which I guess is one way to create jobs. So kudos there. Not a big again. It's it's part of the noise you get in a campaign.
Whoa. Okay, now I sound like I'm on the phone.
Hello. There we go. Back to normal. Did it come through like that on the... Did you guys hear that? Anyway. Email me, radiobradshaw@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/radiobradshaw. Last night, Hillary Clinton talking to CNN. And I get a little inside baseball, but I guess she had said something similar to the Wall Street Journal earlier, and they sat on it. Weird. But Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said last night that she takes responsibility for what happened September 11th, saying that the president and vice president, frankly, are not involved in those security decisions. Again, which is true, but ultimately the buck stops with the president. Now, Hillary's not staying around for a second term anyway. I think she wants to go do her own thing for 4 years and decide if she's going to make kind of a late-in-life run in 2016. And it would be interesting to see the Biden-Clinton team. Because don't kid you, the Clinton machine is still there and rip-roaring ready to go. If they had paid a little more attention to how delegates are bound, and they spent a little less time feeling inevitable trying to start a general election campaign, I don't know, this election could look a lot different. But by all accounts, she's been a very good Secretary of State. And frankly, I don't think an attack on a consulate is a disqualifying. I mean, I don't know if you're aware of this, but during the Reagan years, we got attacked a lot. And two, we're probably not going to get a full story from a CIA annex. And kudos to the House investigation live on C-SPAN that let us in on that little secret. In the end, I don't think it'll diffuse the situation. But what really got me was the right-wing reaction. Jennifer Rubin is the right-wing blogger for the Washington Post. She is actually a diversity hire. The first guy they hired to cover Republicans was Dave Weigel, who, again, wasn't sufficiently conservative or deferential, or I don't know, didn't have some sort of Buddha-type shrine to Ronald Reagan. In his office, didn't pray 5 times to the Reagan Library a day. Whatever, magic qualities it takes. Jennifer Rubin, however, has been fun to read, if only for, again, the group therapy aspect. But her response to the Hillary Clinton admission: first, Bill humiliates her. Now Obama does. Hillary, no feminist, more like doormat. Ouch. Later, in responding to about Hillary moving to Arkansas after graduating from Yale Law School. Once you take your Yale law degree and go to Arkansas, you basically are putting your career in the hands of others. David Axelrod said that Mitt's mouthpiece had jumped the shark. Her response. Hello? There we go. So Obama is going to hide behind her skirt Tuesday night. Why would the president let Hillary end her career in disgrace? Literally, there's nothing the president can do, say, that will appease these folks. I hope he's finally learned that after 4 years in office. Take them at their word when they say, we want you to be a one-term president. That they are being honest. That is actually what they want to do. That is their guiding strategy. That will inform all of their decisions. It will influence all of their...
I'm on the phone again.
Technical difficulties. Just leave it unplugged. Whatever you just unplugged. Leave that out. All right. Long story short. I hope this bleeds through into the legislative agenda. And again, not because I just want to ramrod everything Obama wants through. Frankly, Obama, is far to the right of me. He is a centrist. And anyone who tells you otherwise is either ill-informed or blatantly lying to you. But what I think we really need to do in this country is, again, have the discussion, have the debate. Republicans want to hold the full faith and credit of the federal government, hostage. That should be, the president doesn't need to go and offer them, basically his head on a plate. He went and offered them cuts to Social Security and Medicare, and luckily John Boehner is such a horrible speaker and has such an unwieldy Republican caucus that he couldn't accept a deal. He couldn't say yes. But we have a president that just has, a fetish for bipartisanship. We've already seen, talks, a new gang of 6. Could a grand bargain be coming during the lame duck session? Oh, dear God, I hope not. Now, Republicans were smart enough to understand that it would take a Democrat to gut Social Security and Medicare. They've tried. To them, it's the third rail. And they may have actually found, again, if the president hasn't learned from history. Debt ambassador, they're going to attack you over it. Debt ceiling, they're going to attack you over it. You get up in the morning and eat Wheaties, they're going to attack you over it. You have to deal with reality. And in some ways we've seen that. Whether the president, his super PAC. The president's not a fan of super PACs, but you would be stupid to not realize that the game has changed. You'd be stupid to not play by the rules. The example I give, if the Cubs moved to the American League, we might believe in old-time traditions, except for, winning, which I guess isn't an old-time tradition for the Cubs, so I'm good on that front. We're just not going to play with the DH. You would be hamstringing yourself. We didn't set the rules. We don't like the rules. I hate the DH. I don't like the fact that, again, anonymous dollars from God knows where can flow in unlimited amounts. But that's the reality. We didn't set the rules, but we have to play by them. And we have to take them into account. I hope the president has realized that, again, he's not setting these rules. When the Republican Party decided to take their ball and go home, and occasionally, like Lucy, they'll offer, President, you want to kick the football? No, really, we mean it this time. Understand who you're dealing with. Same advice I would tell him, to take on stage tonight. Know who you're dealing with. You're dealing with a salesman who will say whatever it takes to seal the deal. All right, real quick before we have to scoot, something I talked about with Ed Fallon earlier today on the Fallon Forum. This pastor, Steve Youngblood, at City Church in Burlington. And what started this all was passing out pamphlets supporting the Vote No, Bob Vander Plaats needs another 3-year contract group. One of his parishioners said that this is probably wrong. According to the IRS, a 501c3 organization can't promote a specific candidate or a specific political action. Not only did the pastor disagree with her, but went to preach and said that, well, one, don't call yourself a Christian and do that. And two, that he would like to slap her and that her husband should stand up and correct her. What makes me madder is that this person's husband won't correct them. I don't like rebellious women. I don't like rebellious men either. They're even worse. Again, maybe the Gideons have done us a great disservice by passing out those King James Bibles, but I'm pretty sure there's no passage in there about Jesus slapping anyone. Maybe they mistranslated the turn the other cheek so you can get a shot at the other one too.
Actually, I'm not sure you're right about that.
Okay, money changers, but that was the business end of a bullwhip.
Yeah, he sat in the corner and made his own whip and then smacked him upside the head with it. But yeah.
I don't think Jesus would slap women.
I'm in agreement here that he, at very least, even if he disagreed that he was legally able to do that, that was a horrible tact and not very Christian-like.
Well, no, but again, I think these sorts of situations tend to reveal character.
Yeah, there's bad character in a lot of parts of society.
But now he's crying that he's being bullied.
Poor him.
Because he's not allowed to slap her? I'm not sure how how the First Church of the Prodigy. Take my picture? Way too much. I don't know. Why Iowa? We seem to have a lot of this. The Vander Plaatses, the Mullins, Youngblood's just another one. We have an entire, network of pastors who are tempting the IRS to come get us, knowing that they never will.
I think that's insanity.
Well, here's my theory.
Mm-hmm.
You may disagree. Because there is so much political action in our state, there's so much political attention It means we not only have our, more than our share of influence in national elections, we have more than our share of money. And these are folks looking to get in on that.
I do not disagree.
I think ultimately that is the true master that they are serving.
I don't,
Why else hand over your church to Michelle Bachmann? Why else?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think churches should, by and large, kind of be devoid of that kind of thought. I mean, with teaching morals, you're already doing enough to help guide your people in their voting decisions. I don't see why you need to specifically call it out.
Well, and if you're going to do it, and then don't hide under, sorry, Jennifer Rubin, but I'm just preaching skirt.
Well, there was something I saw the other day where it was like pastors that were going to openly defy.
It's a regular occurrence now.
Yeah.
I mean, they do it on scheduled weekends where they'll all do it at once, daring the IRS,
Yeah.
knowing that the IRS never will. Because my God, can you imagine?
Yeah, but
if the IRS were to start pulling tax exempt statuses from some of these churches, begging them to do it.
Yeah, no,
Can you imagine the rending of garments, the crying, the fainting?
I can't believe these people are doing it. First of all, it's not biblical. In the Bible, it says that we're to honor our magistrates.
I don't think these people, I think if they really thought that their calling demanded, they preach politics. Here's my tax exempt status. I don't want it anymore. Now I'm going to tell you what I really think.
Yeah,
that would be
that would seem reasonable,
honest way to do it. That would seem to be the honorable. I don't know. Does that count as bearing false witness to sign your 501c3 documents and then violate them?
It could.
Again, I don't come at them from theological grounds because I don't really care. Theological grounds. And I think their actions show that they don't either. I think at the end of the day, they're truly influence money. Same things that have driven ideologues for, the entire 6,000-year history of the earth. I kid.
You're right. It's only 57 and 73.
They got it down to the day now?
The Jewish people do.
Oy vey. All right, I got to scoot. Again, I think you will know these people from their fruits. All right, email me, radiobradshaw@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter. Be live tweeting the debate tonight. Twitter.com/RadioBradshaw. And we'll have the postmortem tomorrow. I called my shot on Thursday. I was right. That liberals, Democrats, progressives, whatever we're calling ourselves to avoid shame these days, would feel very happy about the results on Thursday. I'm going to call my shot and say that we are going to feel good again tonight. I think the president has a very good political team who made a very large error in the first debate and will not repeat it. Calling my shot. Disagree? Let me know, and we'll talk about it tomorrow here on The Bradshaw Show on Webcast One Live. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.